What's poppin', T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with my all tea, all shade Married to Medicine Season 8, Episode 10 review. Make sure you guys check out my Real Housewives of Atlanta Reunion Part 3 review. It is a very special one. I have a huge surprise in the beginning of the episode, so make sure you watch it. You don't want to miss it. Anywho, let's get on to tonight's review. So Contessa contracted COVID and exposed not only her family but all the castmates, so everybody had to quarantine for 14 days. Contessa goes to see Quad at her home, and Quad asks how she and Scott are doing. And Contessa says, I think Scott still holds resentment. I know. You want to know what he said to me? He said, I was almost done with your ass because I went to school. At this point, I can't even focus on Scott. We've talked about this on my channel. I feel like Contessa does need to prioritize her family more over her career. I understand that she sacrificed, but not even for your husband, but for more so for your children. You're already gone long hours a day, and then all of these other projects and filming for the show. Like, I know that time is very sparingly when it comes to your children, and you have to learn how to prioritize your kids first. It's great to have ambitions and goals that you want to accomplish, but you don't want to be the type of parent that looks back and then your kids resent you because you're not there. But I also do feel like Scott is full of shit, and that Scott got something going on with him. Maybe he's dissatisfied and just not her, but the marriage within itself. But yeah, I feel like they both got major work to do. So Toya goes over Lisa Nicole's house. Lisa says that that Zoom with Heavenly was crazy. So they show us the flashback where we see Quad say to Heavenly, why you and Toya fall out? And Heavenly says, she just stupid. And then Carrie Wells says, don't be jealous. And Heavenly was like, who's jealous? She, the brokest bitch, her? And I was like, oh my God, Heavenly, just stop it. Oh my God. So Lisa says to Toya, Quad was defending you. And Toya was like, how? Because Anila said it was quite strange. And Lisa Nicole was like, it was a shady way of having your back. And then they flash back again. And Quad says, no one on God's green earth is jealous of Toya. We're only celebrating that she has a home finally. Boy, the shit that they be saying about each other, like, I could never be friends with these hoes. I don't give a fuck if we are filming a reality show, bitch. Like, they cuts deep, bitch. Deep. So Toya was like, I thought me and Quad were really friends, but now she's talking behind my back, and that's a problem. I don't want friends in my life that are tearing me down. They both talk about each other. They're both shady as hell. Like, I'm team nobody with this situation. So Jackie calls Lisa while Toya is there and invites them to a group talk about sex and intimacy. Toya asks to be seated very far away from Heavenly because they don't get along. Cecil is living his best life, honey, thinking that he the bartender at Cheers, honey. I live for Cecil. Him and Simone talk about him not feeling the fact that, you know, parents feel like children are supposed to be out of the house at 18 and supposed to just go and live on their own. We find out that, you know, he lived in his parents' house in their garage or basement or whatever for quite a long time until he married Simone. And she was like, it probably would have stayed that way if I hadn't come along. But she asked him, or is he lonely? And he was like, you know, it's been rough since they lost their dog, Sam. Their dog, Sam, died. So with the dog, Sam, being gone, both of their sons being gone, Simone being at work, it's like, who does he have time to spend with? And, you know, she does say, you know, you do have me or whatever. But yeah, she better focus on Cecil before Cecil pull a Curtis on her ass. So so Heavenly and her son Zachary go look at a property that they're going to flip together. I think that's very dope that she's doing that with her son, teaching him about business and finances and money. And it's just a great thing for a mother and son to do together. She tells him before they get there, you know, to have a poker face, like you can't be acting too eager, you know, because that's how they try to get you. So they get there and she finds out that the house is over $400,000 and their budget was $150,000. So she looking like, nigga, what the fuck? Where the hell you got me? The house wasn't really my type. The best thing about the house to me was the lake. So Heavenly really fell in love with the house, but she's thinking about keeping it for themselves and flipping another house with her son. So we didn't find out if she got the house or whatnot. So Heavenly, her confessional says, I might even buy Toya's house. And it would be so fucked up if Heavenly actually was the one that buys Toya's house now that it's up for sale. That would be the ultimate gag of the century. The gag of the century. I buy that bitch, put a little bit more into it, and then flip that motherfucker and make even more money off of it. Girl, now that's how you go into the next season. So it's the day of Jackie's event. Contessa arrives, and the dress that she had on and her body and them legs. Yes, ma'am. Contessa got a sexy ass shape, especially her new titties, that ass, her fit body. Like, you get to Contessa with the right hair and the right dress, bitch, the right makeup. Oh, Contessa a bad bitch. Contessa be out here pulling some motherfuckers. Like, Scott is the one that look like somebody's substitute teacher. Like, Contessa better step into her cunt and remember who the fuck she is. So Simone comes looking like she going to Home Depot, child. I don't know where the fuck. Girl, Simone just irks. So Quad comes. Quad had a really cute, sexy dress on, but you saw her double-sided tape on her titties. I didn't really care for that, but her body was on fleek and the dress was everything. So Jackie introduces all the ladies to her employee, who's a scrub nurse or something like that, who also does porn at night. And I was like, bitch, you better have the best of both worlds on some Miley Cyrus type shit. Mind you, Toya is the only one that has not arrived yet, and people are wondering where she is. So the ladies are stunned, though, when they find out that the lady Shanice is a porn star. So Heavenly, her confessional, said it looked like Curtis happy. She done learned her lesson talking about Simone. I mean, talking about Jackie ass. I was like, see, Heavenly, that damn mouth of fucking yours. I still can't see Jackie doing nothing in the bedroom. Jackie just give me Groot. Y'all know I call her Groot. She gives me Groot from Galaxy of the Galaxy, just stiff as a fucking board. So Anila tells Simone that she's heard from, you know, her and Toya's lieutenant's crew that Toya been talking shit about her. So Simone was like, you know, well, hopefully y'all be able to sit down and have a conversation about this. So then Lisa says to Heavenly, what happened on that Zoom call? You went so hard and so fast. And Heavenly was like, I try not to talk about people when they're not here. And then in walks Toya. And Quad peeps that Toya does not speak to her nor Heavenly. And she felt some type of way about it. So Toya sits down next to Anila. She was like, hey, girl, how you doing? She was like, hey. She was like, what's wrong? You don't seem like your normal happy self. And Anila was like, I've been hearing a lot of shit and it's hurting me. And Toya was like, Anila, you sound ridiculous. And Anila was like, no, honey, no. Like, the hair and makeup shit on the bus, why would you not talk to me about that separately? So then they flash back to Anila and Toya and the other girls being on the bus during the DC trip. And Anila says, these makeup artists want their money, like, right away. It ain't these makeup artists. It's whoever does a job for you. I do a job for you. I want to be paid as soon as I'm done doing said job. The fuck are you talking about? So Toy was like, did you pay him? And Anila was like, I will pay him. And Toy was like, you're embarrassing me. Like, you are such an embarrassment. And I agree. Like, you don't do no shit like that. I do makeup. I used to do makeup for other people. And ain't no way in hell I'm about to stand up, my back ache, and doing your fucking makeup for an hour using all of my products. And then you tell me, oh, I ain't got it, or I got to pay you when I get to this stuff. No, bitch. I'm wiping your makeup off because you got me fucked up. I done did the work. You going to give me my money right then and there. I don't know if this is something that got to do with her culture or something, but that's not how things work. If a mechanic come and fix your car, they want their money right then and there, ma'am. Like, no, Anila, no, hell no. So, and then that's Toya's relationship. Like, I'm referring you to do my friend's makeup and then you don't pay him. That looks bad on me. You know what I'm saying? Because I referred you. So, Toya was like, it's my makeup artist. They shouldn't be telling me that you're not paying your bill. And Anila was like, I'm hearing from all kinds of people in the fucking neighborhood. And Toya was like, you sound crazy. You're being a drama queen. So then Jackie starts the class while Toya and Anila continue on with their conversation. And Anila says, I overheard Toya saying she's a dingbat. And Toya was like, well, I do think you're a dingbat. And she was like, see? She was like, well, say it to my face. All right. She was like, well, say it to my face. And she was like, okay, you're dingy. You're a dingbat. I was like, well, girl, she said it to your face. Now what you want? So, and Anila can be dingy or whatever. I think I didn't like the way Toya talked to Anila on last week's episode. I didn't do a review, but she was talking to her crazy, like telling her to shut up and all this type of stuff. Like, no, that's not how you talk to people. So I do think that there is a respect level that is not there on Toya's part, which needs to be fixed ASAP. Like, you're not gonna be talking to me crazy. So Shanice then asked the women to rate themselves sexually. Toya says that she doesn't talk about Anila, and Anila was like, if you have a problem, talk to me about it. Anila in her confessional says, I feel like it's a dismissive apology, like, don't embarrass me in front of everyone else. I agree. I agree that it was a dismissive apology. It was kind of like, okay, girl, I'm sorry. All right. And I think that it was just another case, however, of Toya feeling like, ugh, another instance where I'm arguing with a hoe. Like, I barely didn't even fucking want to come to this shit. Like, and her mood was already fucked up. You could tell when she got there. And then that was just like the nail in the coffin for her. Because she wasn't expecting it from Anila of all people. But I do think that she was talking about the makeup artist situation and saying other stuff about Anila to other people, which is not cool. So Jackie rates herself a 6.5 in bed, and I was like, lies, Groot, lies, you're a 2. So Heavenly rates herself a 5, and I was like, well, at least she honest, child. Quad rates herself an 8. I can see that. Lisa rated herself a 7. I can't really see it with them bags under her eyes. She always tired and depressed. Simone rated herself a 7, a 5, or a 4. Contessa rated herself a 10. She was like, once I get all my sexual fantasies out, I feel like I could be a 10. And I was like, I'm here with you, bitch. I'm here with you, because I rate myself a 10. Yes, ma'am. Because when Shanice put Contessa in that dog collar, bitch, and bent her over and started whipping her, I was like, my fantasy comes true, baby. Y'all know I want to be in a BDSM relationship. Yes, ma'am. Tie me up and spin me around, god damn it. So Toya says that she's tired of arguing with the ladies. Lisa at the end of the event asked her, what was that about? And Toya was like, some stuff we could have handled, not here. And Lisa was like, that's your girl, why she doing that? And I'm like, Lisa, sit your ass down. You're just trying to get in good so you get back on the show. So Quiet goes to Heavenly's house and they sit on her new couch. And the couch is cute, I just didn't like the way she decorated it. And Heavenly was like, Toy said my shit was raggedy. Your shit was very outdated. I mean, somebody had to talk about it, because now you stepping it up a little bit. So Quiet was like, what was her and Anila going back and forth about? And Heavenly was like, she said she was broke and wasn't paying her bills. Quiet said, so she's changing the narrative and putting it on someone else. So now that she struggled to close on her home, now everybody else is broke. She's smelling herself. And Heavenly was like, because she got a house. And Quad was like, I remember she couldn't get a line of credit at Z Gallery. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with you, Quad Lumford Webb. Not she said this woman couldn't get a line of credit at Z Gallery. Girl, I would fight you every time I saw you. You said some shit like that about me. Woo! The shade was real, but Quad was needed on the show because it was a snooze fest for them couple of episodes that she really wasn't there. But they need to bring my girl Mariah back. You know, I'm a Mariah stan. Mariah was that bitch for me. I lived for Mariah Huck. She needs to come back. They need to give her just due. All right, you guys. So that was my review of Married to a Medicine. Let me know what y'all thought about tonight's episode down below in the comments section. And make sure you check out my Real Housewives of Atlanta review. You don't want to miss it. It's a surprise beginning that you don't want to miss. Love you guys. See you on the next one. Bye.